Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Tiffany, this is Tiffin Stitches, and this is knitting podcast, I think number 8 ever. But we're basically starting fresh because it's been over a year since I filmed a knitting podcast. As you've seen, if you are a subscriber, I did post 2 videos recently, but neither of them were podcasts. So this is our first official podcast back filming. So I'm really excited to be here with you guys today, and I hope you enjoy. I will put a disclaimer, you should stay tuned till the end because I am doing a giveaway. So that'll be after I get through the finished objects and the whips and the plans. We'll talk giveaway then. Of course, if you don't want to sit through all that, I guess you could just fast forward. But all of my socials are below, so that will be in the description box. I do have an Instagram, Tiffin Stitches, and I do have a Ravelry. So that'll all be down there if you want to follow me on Instagram, see kind of the day-to-day progress on my projects, because I do post in my stories, and occasionally I post a reel or a post. So you can definitely follow me there if you want to see more like real-time type stuff. But other than that, we're just going to go through what I've been working on. It has been, goodness, it has been, I guess, about 2 weeks since I filmed the wrap up on my fall cast on vlog. And so I will be sharing my fall projects that I've worked on here today. But if you haven't watched that video, the fall cast on my fall knits with me video, if you skip to the very end, the last 10 minutes of the video is actually a podcast style wrap up of everything I got done. So you will be a little lost on like where we're starting from if you haven't watched that, because I'm not going to, I'm not going to erase the progress that I already reported in that video. So we're kind of just moving on from that as if that was a podcast wrap up. So, but we are going to start with some finished objects, one finished object to be exact. And this is what I'm wearing. So this is my Camisole number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And I finished this probably about a month ago. And I have filmed, so I had filmed a podcast that was just my summer knits, and it just didn't get edited and uploaded. So I'm trying to make sure I cover all the things I covered on this before, since that video is not going to see the light of day. So let me tell you a little bit about this one. So the yarn that I knit this in is actually a discontinued yarn, but I have found it on Amazon, so I will link that below. I recently ordered a couple more colors of it because I really enjoy this yarn. It is an alpaca linen blend, and I really liked the way it knit up. I liked the stitch definition. I like the feel of it. It's got a warmth, but it's also like got that linen in there, and I don't know, it's very nice. So enough about all of that. This is Berocco Cambria, which it's in the color Beech, which is like a pretty gray color. I'll get a little closer for you guys to see a little bit more detail. So you can see the stitch definition's really pretty. The finishing that I did, I'll talk a bit more about that. Not super impressed with myself, but not so unimpressed that I would undo it. So we're just gonna keep it because it was a lot of work. This finishing is knit double, so it's like folded on itself, and it is knit on a size 0, and it was a lot of work, and my little fingers just don't want to do it again. But the yarn makeup, like I said, it's 60% alpaca, 20% linen, and 20% lyocell. I did have to look up what lyocell was, and it's a cellulose fiber similar to rayon, but it is non-toxic, whereas I did not know rayon was toxic, but it actually has a lot of health havoc for the people who work with it. So lyocell is very similar, but is non-toxic, so it's better for the workers who are milling the yarn and things like that. So I got 4 skeins of this originally on sale at a yarn shop in Friendswood, Texas. I'm going blank on the name. I'll put it below. They were doing a sale a few months back, and I drove out there. It's about an hour from here. Drove out there and ended up getting 4 skeins of this for $45. But I needed 5 because they're 50-gram skeins. So I ended up having to order one on Amazon and that was what I used for the finishing. I don't think there's like a difference in like, I'm sure it's not the same dye lot, but I don't think you can tell that there's like a difference. I think it looks pretty uniform. So that is what this is knit out of. The skein I got off Amazon was $15. So key to note that it is discontinued. You may be able to find it at a local yarn shop, but if you buy it on Amazon, it's not reflecting like a sale price. So I got it for $11.25 a skein, and then I got it on Amazon at $15 a skein. So just to kind of give you guys that information. I knit the size medium, and the recommended ease was a negative 4.75 to negative 6 inches. By knitting the medium, I got a negative 3.75 inches. So it's a little bit bigger than intended, but the small would have been like, you can see here, the bust is fairly fitted. And then where I have the extra ease is actually like in the waist. And that happens for me a lot. Like I have a bigger bust and a smaller waist. And so I would have to do a lot of shaping to try to make a pattern really truly fit for me in a lot of cases. And I just didn't do that. So the top fits with a little bit, you know, it's not negative, like squeeze me negative, but I would say it's closer to what the pattern was intended to look like. And then the waist is very roomy. So that is really everything I can think of to tell you about this. I did put down some costs. The pattern cost is $8 at myfavoritethingsknitwear.com. And like I said, I got 4 skeins on sale for $45 and then 1 skein for $15. So my total yarn cost for this was $60. And so $68 was the total cost of this top for me to knit it. And I really enjoy it. I think that it's a nice classic top. I actually filmed a reel on my Instagram that was like styling this top. So I'll put that here with some music so you guys can watch it. But yeah, it's kind of the B-roll. You can see me wearing it with different outfits and styling it different ways. So that is everything that I have to say about this finished object. And it's the only finished object I have for today's podcast. When I filmed this the first time, I did share some socks I finished this summer, but if I'm being honest, I'm just really not in a sock mode right now, and I don't have them pulled out, and so we're probably just gonna scurry right on past that. I also did talk last time about a knit that I'm putting in hibernation until next spring, and I might be adding to that list, guys. I thought I was gonna finish, I'll go ahead and show you guys. I thought I was gonna just push through and finish my my Cumulus tee as like my last end of summer hurrah. And if I'm being honest, I am just in fall knitting mode. It's just, I don't know what else to say besides the fact that I just want to knit my fall sweaters. I'll show you the 2 that I've been working on here in just a minute. I did put some stitches into a third, but for the most part, a lot of my energy has been going into these 2 sweaters over the last couple of weeks. So I'll show you that. But that being said, I have gotten some stitches in on this guy. So this is my Cumulus tee by Petite Knit. And I am knitting this in Kraken yarns. Their BFL silk blend. And I don't know the colorway. This is I bought this when I was in Germany at their studio, and the whole tag is in German. But it's a beautiful olivey green color with so much dimension, and it has like the drape on this yarn. I don't know if you guys have ever knit with a BFL silk, but like it is just the softest, drapiest thing ever. So let's see. I am at about 16 inches in overall length from the back of the back to the bottom. And I have to get to 20, I think 21 or 22 inches to be the length that the pattern recommends. At that point, I'll try it on, because sometimes I do like to extend the length of my tops. But you can see here, it's under my bust, but we still have a little ways to go to have the length of that finished. And then I just have a few rows on the sleeves. I think I'm not gonna make them too long. And then the I-cord finishing. So, but I'm just not being pulled to work on this. So I may bring this out a little closer to spring. I may put it away for now. So, sorry, I just got a text message. I was reading it. So I did get some new little stitch stoppers, and I will link the Etsy shop that I got these below, but I put them on here because, let me see if I can get it to focus. Come on. Maybe, there we go. They're like little disco ghosts. Like, how cute are they? So I did get those, and I got another pair of needle stoppers that are Halloween, like little Halloween gnomes. So these are from Muster Pattern by Hand on Etsy. So I just searched for Halloween needle stoppers. I was feeling festive, so. But yeah, so here's the yarn label for the dyer. And it does, maybe it's called Lichen. That looks right. But yeah, so that's her card, and it's her blue silky base. I don't know if that is forwards or backwards for you guys, but that is everything on my Cumulus tee. Oh, I forgot a finished object. I forgot I was gonna share this with you guys. So we're gonna backtrack just for a second. So if you don't know, I recently moved into this house here, and just felt inspired to make a couple things for the kitchen. And I do crochet a bit. I mostly knit, but I know some basics in crochet. And I have knit this pattern before as like teacher gifts for my kids' teachers, but I wanted to make I think it's called the Fold On Itself Potholder. So that is the one I have finished. I also have a whip that is the same pattern. And this is just, it's a very cool construction. You chain, this is your chain, and then you kind of knit around and around and around until it gets to where it folds on itself, and then you just seam it up and put a little holder. So it's double fabric, and it's just made in, I did mine in Knit Picks Dishie, but it's just 100% cotton worsted weight yarn. And so it's 2 layers, so you won't burn your hands when you go to get a pot or a pan out of the oven. And so it's a very practical pot holder pattern. And so I did order some different Knit Picks yarns in blues. My kitchen that I'll post a picture here of what the kitchen looks like from the listing. But it is blue and white. And so I just got all the blue and white yarns and then some grays because I'm kind of adding gray accents. So this is where I'm at. That is so bright. This is where I'm at with the multicolored yarn, and I'll put Knit Picks website down below. I'm sure you guys have heard of Knit Picks Dishie, but I'm almost done with this one as well. This is what the yarn looks like in the cake. And then I have a couple more to make, and then I'm gonna make some dish towels as well that kind of match these colors. So that is a fun little kitchen accessory that I've been working on. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the pattern I've worked the least on for my fall knits in my whips category, and then I'm gonna work my way up to the ones I've been pouring my heart and soul into lately. So this is a bag from 5 to 6. I will link her below. This is a new project bag that I just got recently. I love the fall colors. It was one that she did in collaboration with Moonglow Yarn Co. For her Halloween sock set things that she does. If you haven't heard of Moonglow, she's awesome. She does wonderful tonal yarns. But this is housing my Hannah cardigan my size. And I've probably put in, oh, something's wrong there. Actually, it looks like I messed up the last row, which doesn't surprise me. I think I was knitting on this, maybe not. I don't know. I'll have to look into that because that looks wrong. But I've just added a couple of rows to this. So, like I said, I think I messed up that bottom row. So we'll have to figure out what I did there. But I really haven't worked much on this. I wish I had worked more, but 2 other patterns have just had my attention. So I need to pull this one back out in the coming weeks and work on it. But when we talk future plans, you guys are going to realize that things have taken a turn. They've taken a So that's my Hannah cardigan, my size. That's really all I have to say about it. I'm knitting this in, what am I knitting this in? I have made myself a binder. So this is my, let me show you. This is my fall knitting binder. And you can see here, I've got all these little tabs, and these are all of my patterns, and I wrote the details on what I'm doing for each pattern on here. So I do have that written on the pattern. So my Hannah cardigan, I am knitting in size 3. I'm knitting that in the main color is Woolfolk Fleck, and the color F1. It's so lovely. And then I'm pairing that, holding that with Knitting for Olive Mohair in the color Snowflake. So those are the yarns I'm using for that. And I'm using the called for needles, which are a size 7. And like I said, I've put a couple rows and it looks like I messed up one of them, so we'll get that fixed. But these next 2 whips I'm gonna have a lot more to say on, so just buckle up, because I don't know how far into this recording, 16 minutes. Yeah, I have much to say on the next 2. One of them, it's a sad story. It's a saga, and I had to move on to another one because my heart was a little bit broken. So we'll talk about that right now. And this is like the sweater that I just keep messing up on. It's a saga. So, oh no, we're losing stitches. Hold, please. It's okay because we have to rip this out, but just so we don't have anything going crazy. Okay, I should put my other stitch stoppers on here because my stitches are, it's very full and it wants to come apart. So that will hold my stitches on. So give me 1 second and I will put my little nomies on here. Okay, so this, in case you could not tell, I don't know if you could even see it, is my Porcelain sweater by Lay Knit. It's rolling a little bit, but you can see that I'm well into the 2nd color work band on the body. I have joined under the arms, and you know, we were rocking and we were rolling. I actually think that it's large enough that I could probably put it on. Maybe. I don't want to pull it off the needles, but like I said, I have to rip it out anyway. So does it really matter? Maybe it wasn't not quite big enough. Okay. All right. There we go. I haven't even tried this on yet. That's fun. Okay. So let's take a gander here. I'm loving the way my color work is looking, especially in the camera right now. It's looking very crisp, and I think it'll look even better with blocking. But I messed up. So I was following the chart, and so this is all correct. To this solid purple line, actually to the solid cream line is correct. But there is an additional solid purple line and an additional solid cream line before you start the leaf motif. So I need to rip back all the way to there. It's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows, which is very sad. But I am loving like getting to see the fit of this. I'm making this in the size medium. And I think that was a good choice, like based on what I'm seeing here. Like obviously it's a drop shoulder, which so you would expect this to come down here, and it is cinched in on the needles. But I think like where you can see here, like where the ease is, I think it's looking pretty darn good. So we're just gonna keep that on for now. It's warm. It is starting to feel like fall here in Texas, but this is fairly warm. And I did mess up my hair, so let's clip that back down. Okay, so I am knitting this. Let's talk details here. Let's go to my Porcelain sweater tab in my little notebook. Like I said, I'm knitting in the size medium. I did go up a needle size in the body to get gauged, so I'm knitting this with a size US 7. And the yarn I'm using is the called for yarn, just in a different color combo. So this is Sandnes Garn, Tynn Pure Gynt held with their Tynn Silk Mohair in the color, for the main color, it's almond and oatmeal. The main color in the Tynn Pure Gynt is almond, and in the Mohair, no, opposite. The Mohair is almond, the Tynn Pure Gynt is oatmeal. And then my contrasts are both in the color blackberry. So it's a really, really pretty deep purple, eggplanty kind of color, or blackberry, I guess, since they named it that. And obviously it will have a collar, but this is the third or fourth pretty major mistake that I've made. I don't know. The first set of mistakes was just getting adjusted to color work and reading a color work chart. I had not done that before when I started this, which was about, I don't know, April. I started it. I was on a cruise ship and I started this, and it was my first real, I mean, I've done color work before, but it has been a while. I'm gonna take this off because it's getting toasty. So I had messed up this back color work panel here a couple of times and just took me a couple tries to get it right. And then that's all I had done before I picked this up again for my fall knitting. And then I messed up when I was casting on the shoulders. I cast it on the wrong size, which was just an oversight on my part. So I had to rip that back and redo that. And then this color work chart, this front one, went really well. And I thought I was on a roll. And then I messed up and just missed a row. Like, my color work looks great. And I thought, like, I don't know if you guys watch AKA Nora Knits, but I watch her. And she has a slogan, and I love it. It says, "The imperfections are what make something so perfectly handmade." And I, like, every time she says it, every Saturday I watch her videos, and every time she says it, I'm like, you're right, girl. Like, it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to own those mistakes and let them be a part of your finished object, right? But my thing is that these color work bands are meant to be the same size. And by missing these two rows on the top side of it, I would either have to continue with them on the bottom side and make it look a little funky and be 2 rows short, or omit them on the bottom side and be 4 rows short in the overall width of this color work section. And I have put too much time and energy into this lovely, beautiful sweater to have it look disproportional. And so I figure it's practice. If I rip back the color work and do the color work again, it's just practice for me to get better at color work, which I'm gonna need because of what I'm gonna tell you here in a bit about what I have in my future. But yeah, I have not worked up the nerve. I just switched to a new project because I had put a lot of hours into this over the last couple of weeks, and I was so proud of it. And then I realized I missed those 2 rows, and I was really sad. I just didn't notice that they repeated. And it was after a solid cream row that you started the leaves. I just didn't realize there were 2 solid cream rows. And so that's my bad. I just wasn't paying attention the way that I should have. So now I have to pay the price and rip this back. And there's a lot of stitches on these needles. Like, this is, it's a lot of work. So that's where we're at with that. I am keeping this in it's about to grow out of it, but I'm keeping this in a project bag I got from the Texas Yarn Trail this year. I did not get to go. I purchased tickets and I got the bag, and then I ended up being on a work trip in Germany the weekend of this yarn crawl. So I didn't actually get to participate in the yarn crawl, which was quite a bummer, but I did get my little souvenir bag. So that is what I'm housing the porcelain sweater in. I think I told you all the details about that one. As always, I'll have these patterns linked below so that you can check them out on Ravelry. And then the last whip that we're going to talk about is my Ingrid sweater by Petite Knit. And I have been absolutely in love with this sweater. So far, have not made any mistakes. Well, I take that back. I did make a mistake today, and I've decided to leave it. It's minimal, and I don't know how to fix it because it's in the mock cables of the lattice section, but it's going to be under my arm. So I'm like, or like close to under my arm, maybe not quite under my arm, but I think it'll be okay. I don't even think it'll be noticeable. I think this is one of those ones that Nora would say that you leave it, because I don't know how to ladder back and fix a mock cable. But let me see, finished the back panel on this. Ooh, let me get it over my hair clip. Okay, I finished the back panel. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's the back, and then I picked up the shoulders, and I have officially joined at the neckline and have completed the lattice section. And I think, where's the mistake? Is it on this side? Yes. Okay, let me see if I can show you. Do you see that right there? I mock cabled the wrong direction. It's literally right on the edge, like where I'm gonna pick up. And I feel like where it's located, now granted that could shift once I put the neckline on, but this is supposed to be like, something's folded there. Okay, hold up. All right, so this is supposed to be on my shoulder. And so I feel like it's gonna kind of just get buried. So like, do I need to fix that? Do I need to research how to fix that? I don't think so. Yeah, so this is where we are. I've been enjoying this. I worked on it a bit today because I wanted to finish the lattice section before filming, and it is completely finished. And so yeah, this is, I'm just gonna wear this too. I am knitting this in the size small, and I'm knitting it with Holst Garn Super Soft in the color Sugarsnap held double, and I'm holding that with Knitting for Olive Mohair in the color Dusty Rose. And I'm gonna get close again because I want you guys to see, like, I don't know if the camera is gonna pick it up, but the dimension that I'm getting in this color combo, I just am really, really loving it. I think it's really pretty. So that is my Ingrid sweater. I'm hoping, I'm gonna keep working on this until my future plans become something I can work on, because I can't work on it yet. I'll tell you guys why in a bit. But I'm gonna keep working away at this, and if I can join under the arms, that would be lovely to get that one to that point. So I have been trucking away on that, and I'm just holding that one in a tote bag. So no project bag to show you guys. So let's talk future plans, because I'm excited. Okay, so little old me, is just scrolling on Instagram the other day, and I come across probably the most beautiful sweater that I've ever seen. It caught my eye instantly. I was like, I showed my boyfriend, I was like, isn't this pretty? He's like, that is a work of art. And I was like, isn't it though? Like, the colors are gorgeous, it's so pretty. And so I go to the designer's Instagram. I hadn't heard of this designer before, if I'm being completely honest, which doesn't surprise me. I feel like I've heard of a lot of the mainstream designers, but this, she's European, and I don't know, I just haven't heard of her before. But I go to her Instagram, and I'm just in love. Like, I see that she's doing a test knit call for this particular sweater in like 2 days. And I was like, babe, I could apply to this test knit. And he's like, you could. And I was like, I want to knit it. Like, I need it. And he's like, I don't blame you. And I was like, okay, all right. So you support the fact that I need to buy the yarn and I need to make this pattern. And he's super supportive of my knitting. So he's a very artistic person himself, and he very much supports the fact that this is my hobby. So I'm grateful for that. So, and there's a bit of a story behind this, so just, buckle up. I posted on my Instagram how beautiful this sweater was. I follow the designer, and I decide, I look up what time zone she's in, because she puts it in the description of when she's gonna post the tester call. It's a European time zone. So she's gonna post it at 2 p.m. either on Friday or Saturday, and that's 7 a.m. my time. So Friday comes and goes, no tester call, and so I have an alarm set for Saturday. I'm like, I'm waking up. I'm gonna be up by 7 and I'm gonna be one of the first people to apply for this test knit. Because that's how eager I am to knit this pattern. Like, it's coming out in December. I could have just waited, but I didn't want to. I want to knit it. So I have an alarm set, and funny enough, I was in the shower when the alarm goes off, and I was like, oh gosh, I have to apply. So I'm like, have my phone while I'm in the shower applying for this test knit. I'm not even kidding. That's how dedicated I was. And get it submitted, and I'm like, okay, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If it's not, that's okay. I'm gonna knit it anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and order the yarn. Now, she had put notice that if you're test knitting this, there's a 20% discount with Holst Garn, who is actually the yarn company that she knit this design out of, which you guys know I love Holst Garn. I've got 4 patterns with Holst Garn right now, like Holst Garn yarn. And so I'm like, perfect. I love Holst Garn, but I live in the US. Holst Garn is in Denmark, I'm pretty sure. And so I was like, I want to order it because the test knit's going to start. She's releasing this pattern in December. And then when I say it is all over color work, this is it. It is all over color work. So this is the Iris sweater by Trin and Annalie. And is it not the most gorgeous thing that you have laid your eyes on? So now we get into the saga of yarn. So when I placed my first order for yarn, I placed it the minute after I applied to test knit, because I was like, you know what, I don't need a 20% discount. I want to make sure the yarn gets here. I want to knit it in her colors. Like, at that point, I was so in love with this version of the sweater that I was like, I'm just gonna order what she says to order. And she had put the colors in the Instagram post. Sorry, I couldn't spit my words out. She put this really pretty post, I'll post it here, and it had all the colors. And I was like, I'm just gonna order her colors because that's what I want. I want this exact sweater. And then I found out I got accepted to the test knit. So celebration, I got picked for the test knit, which I'm so excited about. And then I started thinking, I'm sure she's flattered by the fact that her color choices were perfection for this pattern, but I'm sure she would like some other versions of the sweater from her test knitters, right? Like, I'm sure she would love to be able to showcase some different color combinations and some different things, and maybe I shouldn't be so selfish. I can always knit 2 sweaters, right? That's what I told myself. So then I started looking on the Holst Garn website. At this point, I have the 20% discount, and I'm like, well, there's no harm in getting enough for another sweater, right? So I had, just to be clear, I had ordered a cone of the main color, which was way more yarn than I needed. So I knew I had enough main color to knit 2 sweaters with that main color. So all I really was shopping for was to change my contrast colors. I'll post here what I landed on. And I think this is what I'm going to knit the test knit in. I'm gonna swatch first once my yarn gets here. And if the colors look hideous, then obviously I'll just knit it in the original because that order will be here first. It should be here any day. It shipped about a week ago. So I should be getting that one hopefully next week. And then the second order, maybe the week after. And to put this in perspective, it's currently Friday, October the 11th. And the test knit pattern officially goes out on Monday the 14th. So I don't even have the pattern yet, but my hope is that my first set of yarn will come in next week. I can go ahead and swatch to see if I get gauge on the color work and all that jazz with the recommended needles, because I am going to knit the second version, and I'll tell you guys my plan for that in a second. But these colors are coming right after that, and I will swatch with those to make sure that the color story looks pretty. I think it will, but you know how it is when you order yarn online and it maybe is not exactly the tone you thought it was. So I want to make sure that it looks pretty when I knit it up, and then I will decide which version I'm knitting for the test. And then I'm going to have to just be devoted probably to that project. for a while. And I'm thinking I'm going to film a knit this sweater with me vlog. I've already kind of started it when I was thinking about my yarn choices. I went ahead and picked up the camera and filmed. So I'm thinking that that is something that you'll see here probably right around the launch date of the pattern. And then I'm thinking that we should do a knit along in December that corresponds with the pattern launch, and I will knit my second version. And then we can all knit this beautiful sweater, because I feel like when you see it, and you've seen it now, you should comment below if you feel like you need this sweater as much as I felt like I needed the sweater. Because I feel like it's just gorgeous. I feel like it's so pretty. So I want to put that on your radar now, because a lot of you are probably in the US and Holst Garn takes a minute to ship. I don't want you to be scared of knitting with Holst Garn, because it really is such a gorgeous yarn. Like this is Holst Garn, and I'm loving every minute of it. And it does have spinning oil on it when you first get it in the cone, but as you work with it, it really fluffs up. And once you block it, it's like it's a whole new thing. So I really am so excited to knit this, and I just wanted to tell you guys so that if you guys want to join me in December, we have a few months, you can start thinking your color combos. I will put in the description box below my choices and how many balls I ordered, and then her choices and how many balls she ordered, so that you guys have a reference in case you decide you want to go ahead and gear up and like get ready, because I think it would be so fun to do a knit along. And I'll do prizes, and like we'll have a blast. And then that way, when I'm knitting a second version of a sweater I've already knit, I'm doing it with community, I'm doing it with friends, and we're all having a great old time. So that is kind of my future plans. 2 of the same sweater in 2 different color palettes. But I'm just so excited to share this journey of this sweater with you guys. I feel like, my boyfriend said, I feel like you're going to create a piece of art for yourself, and I just am so excited about it for you. And I feel the same way. Like, I feel like I want to frame it. And so I will wear it, but I feel like if I do it right, and I hope I do, that I will want to frame it. And I just can't wait. So anyway, that is all of the knitting that I have today. So now it's time for a little giveaway, because let me give you the logic behind my giveaway. I have already hit 1,000 subscribers before in the past. There are acorns launching off of my oak tree in the backyard towards the house. So if you heard that, that's what that was. The window's open and I'm just like, whoa. It was like 6 acorns at one time. So I have already hit 1,000 subscribers in the past, many years ago. And then over a couple of years of not really filming, I did lose subscribers, and I got down to about 950. And then when I filmed my fall knitting plans video and my fall vlog, Cast My Fall Knits On With Me vlog, I gained about 100 subscribers-ish, a little over. And so I went back above 1,000, and I just feel like that's worth celebrating. I appreciate you guys being here. The ones of you that stuck around over the past few years from my cross-stitching days, and you hung out with me during my knitting days, and you're still here and you're still watching. I think that's awesome. That deserves a giveaway in itself. But I have some new people here, and I'm so excited that you're here, and I hope you stick around. And I think we should celebrate that there are a new few hundred of you guys, and brought us back up above 1,000 subscribers. And so I wanted to do a quick little giveaway. So I am going to do 3 different prizes. One of the prizes is going to be for international subscribers only, and then the other 2 prizes are going to be for US only. So because it is yarn, and shipping internationally with yarn, and it just becomes complicated, but I am going to do an international prize as well. So in order to enter the giveaway, let me give you guys the rules. You must be subscribed to this channel, and you should comment below. Now, if you are not from the US, go ahead and start your comment with with the word international, so that I can search for the international comments only and then pick a winner. So start your comment with the word international, and then comment whatever you want. I don't really care. Just any comment would be great, but just start with that word. And then for the yarn prizes, and that international prize is going to be a pattern of your choice from Ravelry. So whoever wins will just have to shoot me what pattern that they would like, and then I will buy it for you and gift it to you. So that'll be that. And then for anyone who is local to the US, anywhere in the US, you will just put local at the front of yours. That'll be the word that you include in your comment. And I have 2 different skeins of yarns that I'm giving away today. So this is the first one. This is a Treehouse Knits. This was one of her colors of the month for April of 2021. I've had this for a minute. And it is 100% merino wool, so no nylon. I think this would be a beautiful muscle burl hat, or any hat. You could do fingering weight held double. You could do a cowl. This would be a perfect color work color. Like, imagine that with like a solid. That would be so pretty. So anyway, this is going to be prize number 1. And yeah, so she's a dyer out of Austin, Texas. I love Lauren. If you haven't followed Lauren, you should. She's amazing. I have a ton of her yarn, and I have 2 colors that are very similar, so that's why I'm giving this one away. But yeah, so that's our first prize. And then our second prize is in plastic, so I'm going to apologize in advance for the noise, but I didn't want to unbag it. So this is a very autumnal, and I don't know if the glare is going to allow you to see this. There we go. This is very, reminds me of like the fall foliage and whatnot. This is a Patreon sock set that I get every month. This is the most recent one. So I want to say this was September's, because I haven't received October's yet. Let me see, what does the label say? Yeah, September Patreon. So it comes with a stitch marker, a mini skein, and a full skein, and it'll come just packaged like this. I'm just gonna ship it right out to you. I'm just not in the sock knitting mood, and I wanted to share this fall yarn with someone who would knit it this season because it's gorgeous. It's got the greens and the browns and the golds, and I love it, but I'm just not wanting to cast on socks. I'm not feeling it. So if you would like to enter for either of those prizes or the international prize, definitely comment down below. Just use those words like I said. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will be picking the winner in the next podcast. Right now, my plan is to film every 2 weeks. So that would mean that you have until the 25th of October to enter, and then I will be picking the winner. I film on Fridays. I upload on Saturdays at 10. So I will be picking the winner on Friday to then share the winner with you guys on Saturday, October 26th. So 2 weeks to enter, and then I will pick the winners. So I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to talking to you guys again in 2 weeks and telling you where we're at. We'll probably be in test knit land by then, and I cannot wait to show you.